Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Nick.
This is Fish Jelly.
Oh, yes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. I'm congested, so my voice sounds crazy. And I'm out of town, so we're on Zoom.
Yes. And what else about today?
Today's my birthday.
Yeah, it is. Happy birthday.
Which is not the day this podcast gets released. That doesn't mean I don't accept gifts after the fact, though, so feel free.
Yeah, there's no time limit on gifts.
No. But let's get this done. So I saw a headline that said Ozgood Perkins slams monster for Netflix. How would I say this word? Netflixization? Try to say Netflixization.
Netflixization.
Wow.
And that's in the lexicon now. Okay.
So I'm struggling. Osgood Perkins slams monster for Netflixization of real pain after Father Anthony Perkins' depiction.
You know what? I thought of him while we were watching, but we commented on that in our review that I think they do Tony Perkins dirty.
Yeah, they do him crazy. And we reviewed all 8 episodes on our YouTube channel, so people can listen to that. But yeah, I think it's beyond conjecture. It's like crazy fantasy land, basically saying that Anthony Perkins sort of is kindred spirits with Ed Gein because they both felt out of place. Like, that's crazy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But he said that he wouldn't watch Monster with a 10-foot pole, given the creative liberties taken and the show's depiction of his father, obviously, who was played by Joey Polari. Yeah. But
so he did watch this. So he didn't watch it?
Well, that's the other thing. He didn't watch it. So it's like, well, you know. But he doesn't need to watch it. I can tell him that he shouldn't, because they did his dad crazy.
Yeah, I agree. But there are a lot of problems with that series, I think. But, you know, one not being very elegant or elevated writing.
And then we were sent an article. The headline reads, Francis Ford Coppola, who says he's broke, is selling a $1 million watch. It's from the New York Times, and it goes on to describe that he's had financial difficulties over the years, which are usually based on him financing projects that end up becoming failures. So they reference One from the Heart.
Oh, yeah, with Nastasia Kinski.
And then, of course, Megalopolis.
Yeah. One from the Heart is interesting because it's set in Vegas, but he was so expensive because he built a Vegas on a soundstage, basically, and it's a musical. You know, so that he ran amok with that. Yeah.
But I don't know anything about watches, so I'm not quite sure what kind of watch this is, but it's expected to get at least $1 million. So
Damn, he's that.
Unfortunate that such a prolific filmmaker has trouble with their finances like this,
Well, he did spend what, 120 million on Megalopolis of his own money.
I'm sure people did try to tell him, do not do this. Let a studio finance it, take their input. You want to be, you have creative control. This is what happens. So,
Yeah, that's the
but
gamble.
rich people broke is not the same as regular people broke. Because regular people broke means you literally have no money to buy food. Rich people broke means they filed for like,
Mhm.
bankruptcy to protect the assets they do have. So it's not like this man's not going to live comfortably until the end of his days, but still, it's embarrassing to his legacy.
Especially since he had grand plans to do a couple more films. And the other thing about Megalopolis is it's not going to be released on home media or streaming or anything. So that's potential, because a lot of failed theatrical releases find their cult following years later, right? Because it's availability somewhere. So him denying
Oh, well, speaking of that, in the article, he says that Apocalypse Now wasn't it, didn't make money initially, but through theater sales over the years, like decades, it has made 150 million. So I don't know if this man thinks that Megalopolis only being available in the theaters could make its money back. But in this era, I just don't see people checking for that movie.
No, a traveling roadshow of Megalopolis. I mean, there will be diehard fans. I know several people who actually really liked that movie, and good for them.
I
But
think Megalopolis is so bad that it might end up, I could see, well, I don't know, like a midnight. It's too
oh, it's
long
too
to be,
long.
yeah, so I don't know. Okay, since it's Halloween time, Billboard magazine, they just made a list of the 25 biggest Halloween songs of all time. So of course, you think you know the answer, which is Michael Jackson's Thriller, but they're
Yeah.
basing it off Billboard Hot 100 performance.
Okay.
So spoiler right away, Michael Jackson's Thriller is like not even in the top 20 based on Billboard performance. So then I'm like, okay, I don't think I can even name like more than three songs that are like Halloweeny that are popular.
What, like
And the
Ghostbusters?
okay, that's a good one. I was thinking Monster Mash,
Monster
and
Mash,
then
yeah.
maybe like MC Hammer's Adams Family song.
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
But I thought I would run through them because I don't know that I know all of these. So
Well,
number
it
25,
isn't Bobby
Ego.
Brown on Ghostbusters 2, by the way? Sorry.
Mm, oh, I don't know if it's Ghost. I think it's just the first Ghostbusters, right? That's
No,
84.
that's 84. Second one's 89.
It wouldn't have been 89 because I remember dancing. Well,
I remember something.
well, we're
Anyway,
about to find out because it's on the
okay.
list. Number 25 is Eagles' Witchy Woman.
Oh, okay.
24, Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper.
That's a classic, yeah.
23, Golden Earring, Twilight Zone.
Uh, I don't think
Number
I
22 is Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Okay,
Number
familiar.
21, Elvis Presley with the Jordanaires, You're the Devil in Disguise.
Okay.
Number
That
20,
that
Olivia
closes.
Rodrigo's Vampire.
I'm not really familiar with Olivia Rodrigo, but the Elvis song, that's what closes out She Devil.
Oh,
Remember?
no.
Roseanne walking down the street and Devil in Disguise is playing.
Okay. 19, Bobby V, Devil or Angel.
Okay.
18, Justin Bieber, Ghost.
I don't believe I know that.
17, the Charlie Daniels Band, The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Okay, yes.
16, Kodak Black, Super Gremlin. I'm so old, I don't know anything.
Mm.
15, Santana, Black Magic Woman.
Oh yeah, my mom would listen to that a lot.
14, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Bad Moon Rising.
Oh yeah, that's a classic. It's an American Werewolf in London. I play that song regularly. John Fogerty has a great voice, by the way.
Okay. 13, Cliff Richard, Devil Woman.
Okay.
Classics 4, Spooky.
Oh, okay. You know, the thing is, I probably heard all of these, but
Okay, 11, Imagine Dragons, Demons.
wow. Okay.
Okay, number 10, In Excess, Devil Inside.
Okay.
I do know that song.
Yes.
Number 9, Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels, Devil with a Blue Dress On, Good Golly Miss Molly. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we know that song. Uh-huh.
Oh shit. Number 8 is Janet Jackson's Black Cat. That is not to me a Halloween song.
Well, you know, it's a Devil's Familiar.
Sure.
That song's also in a film I like called The Taking of Beverly Hills.
It is a number one song for her.
Hmm.
And she was the first woman to win Best Producer at the Grammys for this song. Okay,
Hmm.
number 7, Cher's Dark Lady.
Okay.
Okay, I do
Yes.
know that one.
Hmm.
Number 6, Rockwell's Somebody's Watching Me.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Yes, we
Yeah.
often play you put that song on Instagram stories about the cat.
Oh, you were right. Number 5 is Bobby Brown's On Our Own from Ghostbusters 2.
D, I knew I remembered that. Okay.
Number 4 is Eminem featuring Rihanna, The Monster.
Oh God.
I don't
Okay.
I don't think I know that song. I don't
Yes,
know.
you
Okay.
do.
Number 3, the Edgar Winter Group, Frankenstein.
Yeah, we know Edgar Winter. Hmm.
Okay. Oh, number 2 is Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbusters.
Classic.
Okay. And the number one biggest Halloween song is Bobby Boris Pickett and the Kickers, Monster Mash.
Oh God.
Okay, that does make sense to me.
And the endearing appeal of Monster Mash.
That wasn't as interesting as I hoped it would be. Sorry, everyone.
It's okay. You often like to randomly quiz me on things like that.
That's true. Okay. I made a note to talk about this because I think sometimes people don't realize how they come across. And so
Mhm.
your gay uncle is here to tell you. I noticed on Instagram, people post these videos that the audio narration says, "Show me the reason you have no money," and then it'll pan to their dog.
Mhm.
And I just think that's weird. Like, so you're broke because you have to buy dog food? Like that's not a good look. Stop. Everyone needs to stop doing that.
Mhm.
I would expect if it says show me the reason you're broke and you pan over to a 6-car garage filled with luxury vehicles, that's one thing. Or a
Well,
collection of watches and bags, maybe, but not a dog.
or children, because then it's like, do we need to call CPS?
While children could make sense, but yes, we need to call CPS then.
Like, you can't afford this kid? Okay.
Yeah, but at least that would be more honest. But the dog, I don't know. All right. I have one thing in the restaurant section because there, I'm currently in Fort Lauderdale, and there's a Starbucks that I had been to many times that
Mhm.
has now been closed, and it's something called Bagels and Co., which I'm not familiar with. But I went there for breakfast this morning,
Mhm.
and it was the strangest experience. They were very, very busy, so clearly it's popular. And the staff were equal parts very friendly and very hostile to each other. They were screaming at each other. You're not busy. You didn't do this. Shut up. I'm going to go over there. Like it was like when you're at the dinner table and your dad slaps your mom and you're just there like, oh my God. But then when the customers come in the door, they're like, good morning, welcome.
Welcome in.
That took my order. She couldn't have been more. The same lady who was screaming, talking about, you're not doing anything. This bitch thinks I won't come over there. And also was like, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank
Ah.
you. So I don't know what's going on at Bagels and Co. in Fort Lauderdale, in Wilton Manors, but y'all need to get it together.
What is the age range of these people? Are they young?
They were they were probably like in their 30s, maybe.
Okay, well,
They were younger than I am, but they were old enough to know better. Like they well, they were, they seemed to take their job very seriously because they were busy and it was bustling, but I don't think they're very organized. So, and also, when you have a lot of cooks in the kitchen, literally, I feel like people were stepping over each other, so they weren't as efficient as they
sure.
could have been. So, witnessing the chaos, me sitting there for 17 minutes waiting for my breakfast burrito, it was pretty entertaining. All right. Films released we didn't cover. Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere.
Yes, we saw a press screening of Shelby Oaks instead of that, and it also just premiered. I'm currently dabbling in the AFI Film Festival. I think I'm only seeing one or two films a day. I just saw Werner Herzog for his documentary this morning. He was there. Um,
Was he in good spirits?
oh yeah, I mean he's just very entertaining to listen to him speak. He's a wry old man.
He started
Um,
an Instagram, and it's funny because he's like, well, since y'all pressured me, here you go.
yeah, that's him. Um, yeah, no, I highly enjoy him. So I was tickled that he showed up for this here because I missed Ghost Elephants. I missed it in Venice. Anyway, the Springsteen I think was the opening night film of the AFI Film Festival on Wednesday. Haven't seen it. Directed by Scott Cooper, whose cinema I don't usually love. I think he's a okay director, but I'm sure I'll have to catch up on that because it'll get awards attention and I'll be expected to see it. But yeah,
And Hedda,
I really did want to fit this in, but I think it's coming out on Amazon Prime soon. Nia DaCosta directed it, starring Tessa Thompson, and it's a uh, adaptation of Ibsen's Hedda Gabler, who's been, it's a stage, that's a iconic play that's been done many times over. And I also wanted to watch the Glenda Jackson version because I never have. Anyway, I'm behind on that. Didn't see the Tess Thompson version, but I am looking forward to catching up with it.
Projects of Interest. Jim Jarmusch has a new movie.
Okay, so he was just at the Sao Paulo Film Festival with his Golden Lion winning father, mother, sister, brother. And he's announced that he's uh, gonna work on his next film in France. It's gonna be a road trip movie, so hoping that he hires Isabelle Huppert. But he said he's not gonna make films in the U.S. anymore. He said it's traumatizing and it's too difficult, and he's he will be working in France from now on.
Oh, pobrecito. All right. Aaron Sorkin has a new project.
The Social Reckoning. Apparently, he's reenacting January 6th.
Well, I can't wait to see those comments. All
Uh-huh.
right. There's going to be a sequel to Jennifer's Body.
Yeah, Diablo Cody's writing the script, and Karen Kusama is coming returning to direct. I, I, I mean, Megan Fox is kind of a non-entity a bit now, so I don't know. I'm sure that she would come back, but
I
it could.
haven't seen the first one, so I don't know.
You never seen the first one?
No.
I'd say that's kind of like a queer cult classic.
Oh, you like it?
Not per se, but
Oh, okay.
I, I do find Megan Fox entertaining in that. But the thing is, God, Diablo Cody, she has these mannerisms that are baked into all her screenplays that drive me a little crazy. Um, I will, of course, be seated for it.
Is this Lars von Trier?
No, that's a misspelling. It's Justine Trier is who I miss.
Oh,
I
okay.
went Lars von Trier is not. I think he has Parkinson's.
Oh,
Justine,
sorry.
Justine Trier is has announced a new project. She's reuniting with Sandra Hüller, who is the star of Anatomy of a Fall, which I believe you were a fan of as well.
Oh, yes. And that remix of 50 Cent's uh PIMP.
Yes, the instrumental version. Um, she is going to be set on a psych ward. That's all that's been said so far. But
Oh, my people.
oh yes, sounds delicious.
All right. Unfortunately, there is an entry in the obituary section. Samantha Eggar died.
No. Well, I mean, she was old, but
She was 86 years old. She's an English actress.
she is in my favorite David Cronenberg film, which I've made you watch. We have a poster for it, The Brood.
Is she the lead?
She's the lady hatching those weird things out of her body.
Oh,
Remember, don't you remember the end where you lied to me? You hate me.
all I remember is you saying that, but I don't know where it came from.
It's The Brood. She was also in
Oh,
Dr. Dolittle, which I've been meaning to make you watch with Rex Harrison. She's in a pretty good, I think, is it William Wyler that did The Collector? Serial killer movie. Yeah, we had a movie night for Return from the Ashes with Ingrid Thulin and Maximilian Schell years ago and Samantha Eggar. Yeah, I didn't know that she died. Okay.
she died on the 15th, 10 days ago. So it took a few days for it to, I guess, be announced. But yeah,
Hmm.
well, goodbye to Samantha Eggar. Okay, the secret film this week was Nick's choice.
Yes,
Is that correct?
that's correct. Yes.
And you chose the 1963 supernatural horror film, The Haunting, directed by a Robert Wise.
Yes.
Why did
Major
you choose this film?
major film director. Because I haven't seen it in a long, long time, and I'm a big fan of Shirley Jackson, and I was reminded of it recently, and it's tis the season. It's considered by many to be one of the best horror films ever made. It's on all, eternally on all kinds of lists like that. I felt it was also time for you to experience this film.
Well, we didn't watch it together.
No.
What is the film about? Hill House has stood for about 90 years and appears haunted. Its inhabitants have always met strange, tragic ends. Now, Dr. John Markway has assembled a team of people who thinks will prove whether or not the house is haunted. Okay, my very first thought is why is this movie not called Hill House?
Well, the book is The Haunting of Hill House. That's the title.
Oh,
Yeah, and I assuming that they Wise and the screenwriter wanted to make it more of a they wanted less supernatural, I think, and more of an allegory about madness.
oh,
But the book is more supernatural, I think, than like certainly certifiably supernatural because a lot of now that you've seen the film, a lot of it seems like it could be in you know the lead character's head, maybe. But yeah, so maybe that's why they did that with the title. But there was I believe is the Netflix series from a couple years ago that is called The Haunting of Hill House. And then there is a very, I think, terrible 1999 remake starring Lily Taylor and Catherine Zeta-Jones and Liam Neeson from Jan de Bont.
oh. Oh,
That is,
I might have seen that movie actually.
yeah, I saw it with my mom in the theater. That's not a very good version. I think that this is certainly the superior version.
Well, they say Hill House in this movie so many times. It reminded me of the Thornbirds and everyone saying Drogita.
Oh, Hita.
Like,
Yes, they
okay, we get it. We know we were at Hill House. Okay.
Well, it doesn't help that. So I think Julie Harris is pretty good in this. Is what well they call her Eleanor Nan
Nell.
Or Nellenor. I kept because
Child,
trying to get it.
Nell is certifiably crazy.
Oh, this bitch shows up and she's like, my new house. I'm never leaving.
But I have to say, this was an experience because it's like kind of like a horror comedy, but then it is depressing as hell.
Well, yeah, because she's so uneasy to watch in this because she just makes everybody uncomfortable.
This
Uh,
movie is basically about a woman who is so fucking, or excuse me, a woman who is so miserable that she is willing to live in a haunted house. And,
yeah.
and at a point, is so miserable and sad and lonely that she thinks that that scared the ghost off.
Uh-huh. It's
Do
supposed
you
to be me.
do you know how miserable you have to be to think, well, I guess I scared the ghost off?
Yeah, but God, but watching her, just like, oh, I just let somebody kill her. Uh,
Well, I mean, we'll get to the end, but
yes, extremely frustrating. You do know who Julie Harris is because you've seen at least two movies with her. One is
oh.
Gorillas in the Mist,
Oh, is she the lady with the orphanage?
Roz Carr, yeah. And then
Oh,
she's the character who cuts off her nipples with garden shears in Reflections in a Golden Eye with Liz Taylor.
what? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And but it's weird. I think her big breakout was as a kid in another Carson McCullers adaptation, Member of the Wedding. Anyway,
I did enjoy this movie. I would totally watch it in a theater if someone wants to take us next Halloween season. Um, I would probably say yes. I thought it was a lot of fun. Nell is definitely the star, but who's this lady who played what's her name? Theodora?
Claire Bloom, of clearly a lesbian, which we can get into. But yeah, Claire Bloom. This is probably my favorite performance of hers because there's a lot of stuff she drove me crazy in for some reason. I don't know.
Wow, Theodora is so bitchy in this movie. And then you have the doctor, Richard Johnson. Do I know who that is?
I think I'm more familiar with him as old. He's in a lot of genre fare in the latter part of his career. I think we reviewed Zombie, a Lucio Fulci film, which he's also a doctor in. But he was, that's 15 years after this, so he looked a bit older. But yeah, here and there.
And then Russ Tamblyn plays like the nephew of the people who own this grand manor. Do you know who Russ Tamblyn is?
Yes. And by the way, I can't stand him in this. I hated his
Oh, you
character.
didn't like him? I thought he was kind of cute because he's like, I just need some money. Can we stop saying this house is haunted? It's bad for resale value.
Oh, but he just seemed like an adolescent. I just want every time he opened his mouth, I want him to shut up. But
Well,
yes,
but he's supposed to be like that.
yes,
Yeah,
but
he is. I mean, he is annoying.
you know him well. He worked with Robert Wise right before this on West Side Story, which you've seen. He played Riff.
Hmm.
So and you know who his daughter is Amber Tamblyn.
Who that is?
That white girl
Is she
that
dead?
is he dead?
Oh, you know who I'm thinking of? Trachtenberg. Didn't she die?
Michelle Trachtenberg's dead. No, Amber Tamblyn. You've seen her. Um,
Oh, is she married to? She's
uh,
married to David Cross.
yes, she is. Hmm.
That's how I know her because she's in a movie where she's playing a role that I don't think fits her. She's in a window.
Django Unchained.
Django, yes.
Yeah, like why is she in this?
Why is she in this movie?
Well, because isn't her big thing, wasn't it Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
Oh, I don't know.
There's two at least. I haven't seen them, but not that I refused. It's just that I've had no occasion. Uh, but yes, Russ Tamblyn, and then there's somebody else quite notable in here that shows up at the very end. Um,
Oh, the wife of the doctor.
yes,
Who's that?
Lois Maxwell. She was Miss Moneypenny in several James Bond movies.
Oh,
You're used to Miss Moneypenny being Naomi Harris, but Lois Maxwell was that. And I also was quite under. She's not in it a lot, but I guess the caretaker that works there, Mrs. Dudley, played by Rosalie Crutchley. Every time she popped up, I was entertained.
well, she's mad, but also like, okay, you want to be bitchy to me, but you're gonna.
It's 10 o'clock. I'm ready to clear. I'm ready to clear the table. You
But
can't hold up anybody at night.
let me tell the story. So the film opens with Dr. Markway narrating the history of Hill House. So we find out that this house was built back in the day by this man named Hugh Crane for his wife. And I thought it was so crazy. Imagine you build a house. Imagine, imagine I spent all this time and resources building you your dream home. And then before you even like as you're about to step foot into the door, you die. But so Hugh Crane, as he and his wife or as his wife is coming to the house he built her, she is in horse and carriage and gets into an accident on the property and dies. Then he marries another lady, she dies. So we find out that there were a series of deaths, suicides, unexplained hauntings, and things going on in this mansion, Hill House, for decades. Okay, so then we cut to modern day,
Hmm.
which I guess would be what, the 50s?
This is, well, 63, so yeah.
Well, I was thinking the car she was driving. Yeah, like 50s, 60s. Anyway, Dr. Markway is assembling a small group of people to help him investigate paranormal claims at Hill House. So he's a professor, but he understands that no one believes in this shit, so he needs to have people there to document and witness everything. So he chooses several people, but they drop out because they're scared. So ultimately, he only gets really two people, two women, and
Mhm.
then the people who own Hill House, they're like, well, take our raggedy nephew with you. He needs to know what Hill House is about, and he's the heir to the house, so he should be there. So you have these three people. So Luke, the heir, he's there for the reasons I said. Then you have Theodora. Her ass is there because apparently she's like clairvoyant. And then Nell, who's the lead, I would say, she was chosen because Dr. Markway knows that she experienced paranormal or like saw ghosts or something as a child.
A poltergeist rained stones on her house.
Oh, right, right, right. Okay, so they get there and immediately, you already mentioned, because there's the caretaker and his wife, and the caretaker tells Nell before he even opens the gate, like, okay, y'all want to, you city folk want to come here. You don't know what
Nell,
you don't know what this shit is about.
Nell is like that pressed white woman because immediately he's trying to warn her and she's like, I'm invited here. I'm expected. Let me in. Like, okay.
Well, yes, and I was screaming, but the wife of the caretaker is like the maid of the house. And she's telling them, like you said, I work until the sun goes down. After that, you're on your own. No one is going to come help you. So we know. And immediately weird things starts happening, hearing whispers, sounds, it gets cold, all the things. But we see that really it's Nell who is suffering the effects of what we think is this supernatural force in the house.
Hmm.
And a lot of it is also tied to her backstory, which is that when we met her before she left to go to Hill House, she was living with her sister's husband, and their child. And it's very clear that Nell is a fragile woman and that she spent her adulthood taking care of their mother, who is, did you get the sense the mom was kind of like abusive to her a little bit?
Yeah. Well, based on the night the mom died and
Oh, right. And
guilt,
that,
yeah, it wasn't a loving relationship.
and
Did that remind you of Marion Crane at the beginning of Psycho a little bit with the car bit?
yes. Well, yeah, because Nell gets this offer from Dr. Markway to come, and she thinks this is her ticket out.
Hmm.
So she's telling her sister, you need to let me borrow the car that I paid half for to go to Hill House. And so she does. But we're going to get to Nell and her inner monologue. But you have Nell experiencing all this stuff. You have the doctor, Luke, and Theodora trying to comfort her in the weirdest way possible, which is to basically kind of bully her.
Yeah, yeah.
But at a point, the doctor's wife shows up. And the doctor had told us in the beginning, because the people who own Hill House, Luke's like aunt and uncle, when Dr. Markway goes to ask them if he can use the house. They're like, are you married? Okay. And you're going to have women there? Okay. And what about your wife? Oh, she's not going to be there? Well, we can't have you with these women in this house unattended. So that was also the reason they said, well, you can take our raggedy nephew with you.
Mhm.
But Dr. Markway explains, well, my wife doesn't believe in my paranormal work, so she wouldn't come anyway. But then she shows up, and she's not a nice lady because she thinks all this is stupid.
Yes.
But I would say the climax is that Nell is freaking out because, like, her visions and the hallucinations or whatever she thinks she's hearing and seeing have come to a crescendo. And then she thinks she sees Mrs. Markway in the attic.
Well, and also Mrs. Markway has disappeared out of the nursery, so they're
Right.
looking. Yeah.
So that drives her like crazy. And of course, everyone's like, bitch, there is no way the doctor's wife is hiding out in the attic like a raccoon. So Eleanor flees the house. Well, they've told her like you need to go because clearly
Yep.
this is taking its toll on you. And we'll get to Eleanor Nell begging to stay, but she ends up fleeing in her car. And then she's talking to herself, saying, like, I know the house wants me here, the house wants me here. And like you said, the devil takes the wheel and basically flips her car in the same spot Mr. Crane, the man who built the home where his wife died, in that same spot. Nell dies. The end.
Yeah. Kind of a bummer. It's kind of a bummer of a ghost story.
So you already mentioned this, but the ambiguity to the story. I mean, I think that this story and the way it handles horror is, we don't get movies like this anymore. Like
No.
atmospheric, this divide between like, is it psychological or is it supernatural? I think this handles it very well. I really like the look of the film, the score, the sound editing. We never really see like there aren't any jump scares, there are no ghosts. We do see I I think there's only one sort of like special effect, if I'm not mistaken, and
The
that's
the pulsating door.
the pulsating door. So this film is so economical with the standard horror elements. And I think it is quite affecting because we're watching this woman who immediately seems like her sanity is in question.
Yeah.
But so she shares a room with Theodora, and Theodora also experiences some things, but we also are, I think the script is also quite clever because it's explained that, scientists always have an answer for everything, which I think is funny because this doctor doesn't have an answer to anything. But he's saying, they say it's like, well, it's Luke who's saying, well, it could be like the effects of the sun or water that runs underneath the thing. There are all these things that could explain these strange occurrences and sounds, whatnot. But of course, Dr. Markway is just convinced that there's paranormal activity. So yeah, I think that it's quite
Well,
clever.
yeah, I think the look of it is very unique because the cinematographer's name was Davis Bolton. But they're just it feels very claustrophobic despite being in this mansion. But there are in certain sequences, such as the end, kind of the big final showdown in the house. But so before we get outside of the house, where Julie Harris thinks the house is falling down around her, and there's just this constant like frenetic camera movement. You're focusing on her feet, and so how it was shot and from all these kind of bizarre angles, because even in that scene all of a sudden we get that bird's eye view from like the ceiling. Like it just is kind of delirious feeling that I think that captures kind of her interior state of mind.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Nature's Bounty. Nature's Bounty believes your body is brilliant, naturally designed to thrive, inside and out. For those always looking for new ways to support your health from head to heels, Nature's Bounty has a range of over 400 vitamins and supplements born from 50 years of trust and care. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature. Visit naturesbounty.com to learn more.
Even the staircase scenes, like her going up and down, or us at one point, I think it's Crane's second wife flings herself from.
Yes.
Well, like, yeah, those look really good. But let me just start going through my notes. When we see in the opening Ms. Crane, she's horse and carriage, and those, poor horses, the things they have to do to probably get those horses, but those horses get on the property and they're like, not today, Jesus. And they flip that thing. So when we see Nell with her sister, like her family's house where she sleeps on the couch, it's very clear Nell is a fragile spirit, and she's getting upset thinking that they're not going to let her drive to Hill House. And so she starts gesticulating, and her little niece goes, "Uh-oh, Aunt Nell is blinking." like that's her tell that she's about to we're not supposed to say spaz out, but
yeah, she's getting amped up. She's gearing up, and then she's like, "Get out of my room," the living room.
Yeah.
Like, ooh. And then even every interaction is just a struggle with her, because then she's just going to take the car, and she goes to the attendant that has the keys.
Oh, she's on 100 before that man even asks her which car it is.
I'm her sister. This is my ID. I own half of it. Blah, blah, blah.
This is my ID. This is my library card.
And then finally he's just like, here, it's parked over there.
He's like, it's over there, row 3. Go get it. Like,
this is not my problem. It's not. I don't
right.
want
He didn't offer her any. Like, that man was just sitting there reading the paper, and she came in hot.
She's just on the defense. Oh my God.
Well, I felt so bad for her because you can tell she's so unhappy. And then we ultimately learned that she harbors a lot of guilt because on the night her mother died, she was in bed, and like the mother would usually do, she'd bang on the wall to summon her. But that night, Nell ignored it. She didn't want to get up. And that's the night her mother died. So on top of the abuse she probably endured caring for her mother, the guilt she holds for thinking she's responsible, and then also not having the opportunity to make a life of her own, like her sister, you can see how she has become. She's like the original Debbie Downer.
She's a resentful shrew. Yes. Yeah. And then that mother's death tidbit also relates back to, was it the character named Abigail, the first daughter of the house that, remember, she grew old, the woman that grew old in the house, and then she hired the companion, and that companion was canoodling on the veranda.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned her, because that's the other special effects moment, is we see that lady get old, and I thought it looked really good.
It did look good, yeah. So I think that the lesbianism is quite clear in a lot of coded ways.
Okay, so I didn't catch that.
No, there's so many times with Claire Bloom being, they're sharing the bedroom together, and you're my companion, and like they have one of their tiffs is like, I think she tells Claire Bloom she's Theodora, she's not a natural woman, and also the nickname is masculine.
You know what? Now that you're saying it, it does make sense, because when they first meet, Nell is like, we're going to be so close, I can see now. And Theodora's like, yeah, we're going to be really close, like sisters. So they do seem, You know what? I think it didn't register them sharing the room because I figured that you would want to share the room because you're in a haunted house. But yeah, yeah, I don't know how that escaped me, but it makes sense.
Well, and then I think Theodora is bristling all the time because it um Julie Harris has seemed, like she has an attraction for the doctor, for the like she's trying to strike up a flirtation with him. And
Oh, right. Well, yeah, because that's another thing is that Theodora, see, I didn't even catch that either. Yeah, that she seems funky thinking that like Nell is flirting with the doctor or he's fond of her. So yeah, she is. And but the biggest thing I noticed is Theodora will not stop bullying Nell.
yes, and it's very it's kind of like negging.
Yeah, and then even the doctor encourages it. He's like, well, obviously she's doing this to distract you from your fears. And then at a point,
So you'll stop screaming at us. Who wrote my name on the wall?
well, and every time Nell gets inflamed and like runs off, usually because Theodora is being mean to her, what does the doctor do? Tell Theodora, well, go get her, go follow her.
Yeah, he manhandles her at one point. He grabs her like, go after her. She can't be alone in the room. The sexuality in the 1999 remake came. The only bit I remember is Catherine Zeta-Jones shows up as this character, and she's like, has some line about like, oh, I had to leave my boyfriend and my girlfriend.
Oh God, that is very nice. That's
That
very 90s.
that's what I remember. Yeah, what's that song? I love both Jay and Jane or whatever. Remember that
Yes.
song? Yeah.
Yes, I love it was on, I think it was on a Ministry of Sound CD
Yes.
I had. Okay. I was screaming when, because again, Theodora is negging Nell and at one point says, oh, you know what? You need a new hairdo. And when we see that new hairdo, because Nellie has bangs with like a low bun. And then
Mhm.
when we see her new hairdo, it looks like she put her bun up higher and then smashed it like a pancake. And then, and then at a point when Theodora is like bitching at Nell, she's like, you just want attention, like that new hairdo of yours.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, dare you!"
Yeah, but I have to give it up to Nell because she doesn't just sit there and take it. She does react. She has no control, but she does react.
She would be so easy to manipulate. Yeah,
She's de
and they might be. That also seems like they might be doing that on purpose.
yeah, but she's definitely a contender. Uh, there's a point uh, again. Well, let me say this. While I really enjoyed this movie, it does feel a little long because it is repetitive in a way because we're just watching Nell just constantly freak out about everything. And if I'm being honest, it did get a little tiring. Like, okay, bitch.
No, I can agree with that, and also it's just like it's frustrating. It's like your friend telling you the same old story about how this
Right.
person treated them this way, and they don't take your advice. But it's like, lady, you're terrified of being here, but have nowhere to go, and insist on staying. It's just like,
But
yeah.
I will say the first few times I was howling, there's a point when Luke runs into the girl's room and says, hey, you got to come see this. So all four of them go into the hallway and they see that written in chalk, and this is like a new thing, like this wasn't there 20 minutes ago. Someone or something has written in chalk, help Eleanor come home.
Mhm.
And first off, the two men they like take their finger and like rub the chalk and lick it. They both, is it chocolate or is it poop? I don't know. What is
I,
it?
that I feel like that's a masculine tendency you see in films. The same day I watched this, I also watched Humanoids from the Deep, which you need to see, by the way. Um, but it's about these weird mutated fish creatures, and legit, the male lead, there's like fish poop goo all over the garbage can, and he puts his hand in it. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
But who am I to shame people for licking questionable things? But
No. Mm.
yeah, they, but that Eleanor Nell loses it. She loses it. And she's like, what, like, who did this? Well, clearly someone wrote it. No, like she's just freaking out. And I thought that was so funny.
Oh, yeah, I feel so bad for her. And I think Julie Harris's performance is fantastic because she seems sweet and you just want to kind of take her and put her somewhere and calm her down and give her some Xanax.
Nell is confiding in Theodora, and then Theodora, like any good backstabbing friend, manipulator, gaslighter, uses it against her. So
Oh yeah.
at one point, Nell is acting funky and is kind of upset with Theodora, and Theodora tells this lady, "Why are you mad at me? I don't think you killed your mother." And the way
Yeah.
Nell, my God. Okay, this doctor, man, what a quack. First of all,
Oh, for sure.
he sees that this woman is not well. She is not well. And he's telling her, bitch, you need to get it together because I can't have a crazy bitch verifying my research. Like, if it turns out there are spirits here, this house is haunted, and you're my witness, no one's going to believe my work. So pull it together. Then, okay, he's just talking about all of this in these vague terms. At one point, he's just throwing out shit. And at one point, he's talking about, oh, that's not da da da. It's preternatural. And she's
Was it?
like, well, what is that? Well, something we don't have an explanation for. And I'm like, you don't have an explanation for anything you're doing,
No, no.
which made me think of like when I'm in meetings with like advertising people and they start throwing out things like KPIs, ROIs, CPAs, conversion rates. And it's all just so like, they all just say the same thing all the time and it doesn't mean anything. But that's how this doctor sounds like,
Oh yes.
sir, I don't believe in your work at all.
How are you getting paid? Also.
I already mentioned this, but this doctor is encouraging Theodora's bullying because at one point he hears Nell scream at Theodora, "You're a monster, Theo. You're the monster in Hill House." And the doctor, and then she runs off, and the doctor tells Theodora to go check on her.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Oh yeah, they have. Oh, it's so toxic, all their little relationships. Well, I like at the end when Dr. Markway finally has the good sense to get Eleanor the hell out of there. He says, I think he says to her like, "I should have made you leave the moment you arrived."
Yeah, yeah.
Like this isn't working. And then the goodbye scene. Oh my God, when get her in the car. Luke's got to go with her. We got to say goodbye. She has a conversation with Markway. She has a conversation with Theo. Markway comes back over. It's like, oh my God. Oh, and then we need the key for the gate. That scene was driving me crazy.
Nell is such a downer. At one point, I forgot who she said this to, but she says, "Oh, I sleep on my left side."
To slow my heart down, or where's
And
the
they
heart?
go, and they go, "Why?" And this bitch said, "Well, I read that it wears out the heart quicker." So
Like,
she's also suicidal. Okay.
like,
But she's also pitiful as hell because we're hearing her inner dialogue and she is saying, "I want to stay here in this haunted house," because she has nowhere to go. But she also says, she says it twice, I believe. "It's the only time anything has ever happened to me.
yeah.
You being in this haunted house and you're
And the only time she's ever been expected somewhere, I think she says that too. It's like, oh, that's so sad.
there are some people listening to this podcast who I think you have friends and loved ones who are like this, and I think you need to show them this movie. Like, who, like if you have someone in your life who's just so, because you know what it made me think of? Like people who are in just like these super toxic relationships where everyone can see,
Hmm.
like, this is not what you should be doing. That's what Nell feels like. But, it's because she is depressed and guilt-ridden and lonely and
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you can get diminished enough to where you can't see the forest for the trees kind of thing, and that she could make her own way out. She's a bright, intelligent, resourceful person if she was allowed to see herself that way.
Oh,
But
that's the other thing I didn't mention, but Nell does come across as quite intelligent. So it's not that it's okay for stupid people to suffer, but like, thinking that this woman, had she felt free to pursue something, anything, for her to think that the opportunity to live in a haunted house would be like something happening for her is really sad.
yeah, her interpretation of this opportunity is wildly different from her colleagues that are there. It's like, oh yeah, my life depends on now living here.
Well, she thinks before as she's driving there, her inner monologue is saying that maybe,
In the car back, like,
no, she's saying that like this will turn into a job. Like she won't ever have to come home,
right, right.
which is like, wow.
Oh, what is she's begging, and she begs Luke in the end, like, please let me stay. I'll earn my keep. And she says something, and he's like, you're not the type of woman I keep or something. Do you know
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
talking
he
about?
does say that.
Mhm. Because she's like, oh, I'll just please let me stay in the smallest corner of the place and I will make it work.
Oh,
Damn, girl.
what would you give The Haunting?
Um, 3.5. And I love the opening credits, by the way. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I did think the opening credits were very good. I I was teetering on a 4 or 3.5. I'm gonna give
I,
it 3.5 out of 5. It did feel a little long.
it's long. I think it's excellent, well-made cinema. It does feel like the early 60s in a lot of ways. And like I've said, I don't love the Russ Tamlin character, mostly how he's written, but um I think it's still, must see, and I think it's deserving of its reputation and influence.
Oh, well, I think that's all we have. We'll be
Hmm.
back to our regularly scheduled programming next week.
Yes.
We have a lot of Patreons to do.
Yes.
Do we have Are there already screenings for next week lined up?
The one that I have lined up for us is Train Dreams with Joel Edgerton.
Train Dreams.
Hmm.
I didn't approve that. What I have approved on my calendar is Sentimental Value.
Oh shit, yeah, I've seen that already, but yeah.
Are you reading anything?
I finished Kiss of the Spider Woman, and now I'm reading Cassandra at the Wedding by Dorothy Baker, which is published in 62. Speaking of Carson McCullers, she's quoted on the back of that. Excellent. I've had it on a list to read because some distributor like Neon or something had bought the rights to the novel, and it's finally getting made. Um, it's about a twin, a lesbian woman whose twin is getting married. It was supposed to star Natalie Wood at one point, and then that fell through. So apparently there's an adaptation in the works, but I have to say I'm only a little ways in, and I think it's excellent.
Well, I'm happy for you. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No.
All right, ta-ta.